Okay, traction bar spring plates, rear shock mount. This is probably the most popular option. We'll just go over kind of what we can do. My intention is to make it so you could select, this is going to be a category underneath traction bar spring plates on the website. You'll be able to select rear shock location. From rear shock location, you can either select this standard style triangle gusset, or you can get this cross member tab gusset that has this 3-bolt pattern in it. I can supply you with the flange that goes on here. It's cut for 1 5/8 tubing. It has a hole in the center of it. This way you can make a cross member and mount stuff to it. May it be probably not useful to mount shocks to it since you already have the shock mount location, but you can mount the anti-roll bar to it and things of that sort. So you'll be selecting, what will you be after? You're going to get 5 shock holes here down the back. All these ones have that in common. Again, back to this 1/2-inch holes or 3/4-inch holes. I do these on the mill. You can actually tell. So when I did all these, this one got made with the old style traction bar tab on it, so it has no holes, no pockets in it. Should look like that. They all look like this now. So I've been making these on the plasma, and then putting these on the mill, and then drilling all the holes. The holes are just much nicer. So plasma cut holes are okay. Even the high definition plasma cut holes are okay. They're not laser cut holes. I don't have a laser, so I just drill a lot of holes now. So yeah, that's how that'll be. So you can see this is one addition. So you've got your rear shock mount location, standard gusset, 3/4-inch holes. That's a very common one that replaces a Calvert style bottom plate. That would use your Calvert, Calvert bolt and rod end again. And then this bolt hole, the very top one, is the bolt hole that you'll find in your Calvert plate. So this is going to give you all this extra drop to get a longer shock on there. So here is the same addition of that plate, just with the cross member tab. These tabs, you can see there's a little difference in the thickness. Standard gusset is going to be 3/16. These cross member tabs, since I'm leveraging this and I'm adding more things to it, I go ahead and do these at 1/4 inch. A little bit of weight, but we're also doing more things with it. So if you want to get these, I can supply them with this tab on the side too. Here's that same plate with that cross member tab, but with 1/2-inch holes. Same kind of deal going on here, right? So just imagine this as being like as a traction bar spring plate builder, right? So you want your rear shock location. This is going to use a standard style shock mount. So let me put my camera down here. And I also have these 3 variations of the shock spacer. So I have this guy right here, which would just be for like a poly bushing style shock. Then I have a 1-inch cone style one. This will be for a bearing. And all these bearing ones come with this little tiny NAS washer that goes right there. It makes it so the bearing won't embed itself in the aluminum. And then I also make it at 3/4 of an inch. So if you're gonna run like an AFCO with a big wide body on it, I would go 1-inch. If you're gonna run anything else, you can pretty much get away with a 3/4 inch. The motivation here is that I would say that the shock being closer to here, less leverage, less possibility to bend your bolt, things of that sort. So in this spring plate builder, I'm going to add these parts as a thing that you can get as well. So they're available on the website now, but I'm going to actually make this as part of the drop down tab. So you'll have the options of what gusset do you want, what traction bar holes do you want, what pattern do you want. Also, all the plates now have this forward hole, and as discussed in a prior video, I've been asked 20 times for this forward hole, and only 1 time I've been asked for this back hole. So if you still want this back hole, that will be a custom set, and I will still do it, but I just didn't want to put massive numbers of holes in this thing any more than I had to. I would prefer that to make these holes, or to make these where it only had the center hole or only had 1 forward hole. I don't want to take more material out of this center piece. We already have problems with bending them with the U-bolts and stuff like that. So, in my view, it's just a better engineering parameter if we just have less holes in the mounting surface. So, but as a standard, they'll all have those 2 holes, 1-inch, 1 hole that would move the whole, the housing rearward 1 inch and then centered. Got the standard tie down tab, 1/4 inch plate, welded on both sides, super nice piece. These things are all going to be powder coated BK08 now, and they're just really, really nice. So I'm super happy with being able to have these powder coated now that I've worked with these guys enough. I do a big enough run of them that I've been able to get some good savings on doing this, and I just think this is a much nicer part. So save the rust too. So your other option is going to be getting these rod end supply rod ends and a pair of bolts. So this will be another option. So if you have 3/4 inch, holes and you would like to update to 1/2 inch, for $60, I can set you up with these two new rod end supply rod ends, chromoly, have the fiber lining in them, so they're nice and tight and smooth. They're just really, really nice rod ends. Almost always, I'm going to be sending the left, because if you have my traction bars, the left will be the rear 1/2 inch hole no matter what. And if you have Caltracs, almost all of them, I have found that the rear one is also the left. So just makes it less work, less work altogether. I also carry on the website the 3/4 inch rod ends as well. So yeah, just as a quick little review, we're only 6 minutes into this video. I think that's perfect. You're going to be choosing what traction bar hole you want here, what gusset you want here, whether or not you want these rod ends to upgrade, and if you want any of these shock spacer pieces. So you'll just do all the drop down tabs and then set this up, and then bam, away you go. So, oh, and one last thing would be the pattern on the bottom right here. So it's still going to be GM multi-leaf, Smith Racecraft, or the standard U-bolt pattern. So those will be your 3 options. And I'm going to, in the main spring plate section, I'll link pictures to the types of perches that are out there. So hopefully this helps.